9 on your side's Faith Abercrombie met with a Dunbar School alum who lives in Tucson, who shares her perspective of growing up as a person of color in Arizona.
The Dunbar Pavilion has decades of history for the Black community here in Tucson. Barbara Lewis takes me back to a time when her and her classmates created a tight-knit bond and a safe haven for each other.
That's me.
Standing side by side.
It's 1950.
Through a time of segregation and racial inequality.
You knew where you could go, where you couldn't go. You just didn't.
85-year-old Barbara Lewis is a Tucson Dunbar School alumni.
1942 through 1950. I left before desegregation. It was desegregated in 51.
The school was built in a predominantly Black neighborhood, adding on a second building in the 1940s.
It's not just the school, it's the whole Dunbar Spring community, Sugar Hill, that were historically Black communities around the Dunbar.
Lewis says she'll never forget her teachers who made her learning experience special.
Even though we were deprived and always underfunded and had their used books after they used them and everything, that we had so much, I guess, encouragement.
At first, the school didn't have a cafeteria, library, gym, or auditorium.
We had our Christmas plays here.
Under this arch is where students would perform plays or listen to announcements.
In the hallway, here to whatever was going on here.
Lewis remembers being in the school's choir, performing at different places in Tucson.
It was the Pioneer Hotel. And we walked in and they didn't want to let us in the front door. So they told us we had to go to the back. And this I always will admire him for. He said, no, we won't. We'll go home. We walked proudly into the front.
The school was eventually shut down and was later purchased by the Dunbar Pavilion in the 90s.
I'd like for people to know what it was and who was here.
They're working on digitizing pictures and writings and creating an artifact museum in the building. A historical preservation organization is also converting old classrooms into educational Airbnbs. The school has stood for more than 100 years, and Lewis says she has one goal.
I would love to see it stand another 100 or more.
In Tucson, Faith Abercrombie, KGUN 9 on your side.
So important to remember that history.